Good morning, everyone. My name is Sarah Walker, and I am a member of the board here at QUUF. Welcome into this day with Quimper Unitarian Universalist Fellowship, a liberal religious congregation founded in 1976 and bound together to serve religious freedom, caring community, and social justice. As we gather, I acknowledge that the water, land, and shorelines here in Port Townsend are the traditional territory of the S'Klallam and Chimicum peoples. We honor and acknowledge our Indigenous members and neighbors and vow to help restore and sustain these homelands. If you're visiting today, I offer a special welcome and invite you to join us for refreshments and conversation in the fellowship hall after the service, which is in that direction. We have a newcomers table near the patio doors where our greeters are ready to answer any questions you might have. So may the welcome we offer to you be an equal measure to the one in our hearts. Might remember this. Lights, camera, auction. As you likely already know, our annual fundraiser auction is coming up quick. We are looking forward to seeing all of your wonderful donations and services, experiences, or items. And if you'd like to donate, there is a form on the bulletin board outside the office, or you can fill out the online form. The link to the form can be found in your weekly update or on the website. We believe that everyone has something to share, and if you're still trying to come up with something, which I know I am, there are still lots of ideas on the back of the paper form or in this past Friday's update. The auction will start on November 2nd, and our fabulous gala event is November 7th. Tickets for the events will go on sale next Sunday. Mark your calendars now. You're not going to want to miss it. And I can't resist. What day is our gala? November 7th. Let us settle our minds and calm our hearts.
Good morning. I was just listening to the music. I almost forgot I had to come up here and say something. We light today's chalice with the words from Reverend Teresa Soto from her poem called Spilling the Light. Some people are used to keeping rules. Don't cross the street when the light is red. Only sensible. It turns out that keeping rules isn't the same as keeping covenant, which asks us, instead of keeping a bright line, to keep our promises. To what have we promised ourselves? To this moment in time and place, to this community, and even tenderly interconnected, this planet. We promise ourselves to this idea that we are each and all human beings. We promise that there is something moving between us that we cannot tame and we cannot measure. The chalice is a reminder that what flame we keep inside cannot light the way. The light must spill to shine. The thing you must be is yourself, unadulterated, shedding the willingness to journey alone, as though you are made of something hard and unforgivable. You are human. You belong right here and right now. And together, we will chase away the sickness, the secrets, and leave only open the possibility that the future is a space for growth. Please rise in body or spirit and join us in our opening hymn. Doug will sing the first verse alone, and then everyone can sing it together. It's titled, My Life Flows On in an Endless Song, number 108.
My life flows on in endless song, above His lamentation. I hear the reel, though far of Him, that hails a new creation. Through all the tumult and the strife, I hear the music ringing. It sounds an echo in my soul. How can I keep from singing? And now that you know it, we're going to sing it again. My life flows on in endless song, above His lamentation. I hear the real, the far of Him, that is a new creation. Through all the tumult and the strife, I hear the music ringing. It sounds an echo in my soul. How can I keep from singing? What though the tempest round me roars? I know the truth it liveth. What though the darkness round me close? Songs in the night it giveth. No storm can shake my inmost calm. Unto that rock I'm clinging, since love prevails in heaven and earth. How can I keep
the chalice lighting. So thank you for your grace as we do that now. Are the words projected? Or it was just the words that I said already for the Spilling the Light by Teresa Soto. The light must spill to shine. You light this chalice. All right, time for all ages. I brought a book. Are there any of those that would like to join me up here? It's called Exactly as Planned by Tao Nu. Have any of you read this already? So it's from two different perspectives. This side of the book is Moose's story, and this side of the book is Fox's story. Okay? So we're going to start with Moose first. It's kind of like two stories in one. It's called Exactly as Planned. You can see this is Moose's house, or tree. I think I'd like to live there. Moose had just finished knitting a scarf. He was wondering who he should give it to when the phone rang. It was Fox, inviting him over for tea. What great timing, he thought. This cozy scarf is the perfect gift. A good guest never arrives empty-handed. This is going to be a terrific visit. But on his way, a breeze lifted the end of the scarf and it got stuck on a twig. See? With each step he took, the scarf unraveled a little. Uh-oh. Moose did not notice. Okay. He ran into a crow on the way. "Hello, Crow," Moose said. "I almost didn't recognize you without your stripy shirt." "I left it at the cleaners. I got messy from my snack. Where are you headed?" "I'm off to see a dear friend. I'm excited to give her a cozy scarf I made. Would you like to see it?" That was when Moose discovered the scarf was gone. "Oh no," said Moose. "Now what will I do? Fox will wonder where my manners are." He began to cry. "Try going back home," said Crow. "Maybe you left it there." He stopped at a tree. Oops. Let's see. Nope. I forgot the last section. It was sound advice. Moose went back home, but he couldn't find the scarf anywhere. So he set off again to Fox's home, empty-handed. He stopped at a tree, feeling sad. "I'm not having a good day. I have nothing to give my friend." And Moose cried some more. "How about some apples?" said a raccoon from above. "And please shush, my babies are sleeping." Moose cheered up. He thanked the raccoon and continued on his way. In a while, he came upon a group of bunnies. "Have you seen a scarf?" he asked hopefully. When they answered no, the tears flowed a third time. "Please don't cry," said the bunnies. "How about some nice flowers?" Moose cheered up. He collected a bouquet and continued walking. Along the way, he passed a goat. "Have you seen a scarf?" "It is a gift for my friend." When the goat shook her head, Moose burst into tears again. There, the goat said. "I've got a basket that a client didn't want. Let me dye it to cover up the brownie stains. Add those flowers and apples, and you'll have a mighty fine gift." Moose was relieved. Now at least he wouldn't show up empty-handed. As Moose arrived at Fox's, he saw that she had something for him too. Of course, Moose said to himself, Fox is always an excellent host. Fox offered him a button, a beautiful feather, and even some yarn, all the things Moose loved best, especially the yarn, which was a color he didn't have yet in his collection. Moose felt embarrassed. All he had were random things he'd picked up in the forest. Oh, he wished he had something cozy for her. But Fox's gift gave him an idea. He was determined to be a proper guest. How do you feel about pom-poms? He asked. They're delightful, she said. Moose got to work, and the two friends chatted happily for hours. It ended up being a terrific visit after all, exactly as planned. So that's Moose's side. Okay. Yeah, what do you think the fox's story is? Is that funny too? Okay, here's Fox's tree. Fox had just invited Moose over for tea. She was very pleased with herself as she put brownies out to cool. A good host always has something sweet to offer, she thought. It was going to be a terrific visit. While the brownies were cooling in the breeze, it carried their chocolatey smell into the air where it attracted the attention of a crow. It's my lucky day, he said, and he flew away with the treats. Fox did not notice until it was too late. Come back, thief, she shouted, but the crow flew away too fast. Now what will I do? Said Fox. When Moose arrives, I'll have nothing to offer. He'll wonder where my manners went. She sat down and cried. Just then, something wiggling in the breeze caught her eye. It was yarn that had gotten stuck on a bush. Moose likes crafty things, Fox said. I'll gather this up for him. She followed the trail of yarn all the way to a raccoon's nest. Hello, called Fox. May I have this yarn? I'm collecting it for a friend. Sorry, no can do, said the raccoon. The yarn is keeping my babies cozy. Can you see that? Can you see the yarn with the baby raccoons? But then she saw tears welling up in Fox's eyes. She quickly said, Don't fret. I don't need all of it. I'll snip off the end. I've also got some buttons, keys, forks. Oh, a button would be nice, said Fox. She cheered up. Button and yarn in hand, she continued on her way. The yarn led to a group of bunnies. Hello, said Fox. May I have this yarn? I'm collecting it for a friend. Not today, said a bunny. We're using it as a jump rope. Fox's eyes got watery again. Don't cry, said another bunny. We don't need all the yarn. Let's cut the ends, and you can collect the rest. And would you like this lovely feather? The third bunny asked. Fox teared up again. They cut the yarn, and she continued on. The yarn ended in a goat's laundry line. Hello, said Fox. May I have the yarn? I'm collecting it for a friend. Heavens, no, said the goat. I have too much laundry to dry. Fox's tears fell fast this time. None of my plans are working out. I am not having a good day. There, sweetie, the goat said. You have plenty of yarn, but it looks like it's been dragged through the forest. Let me dye it for you, and it will be as good as new. Fox felt cheerier again, and she headed back home with a button, a feather, and yarn. It wasn't what she had planned, but at least it was something to offer. She was arranging her gifts when Moose arrived. He had brought a beautiful basket for her. Of course, Fox said to herself, Moose always has the best manners. He had brought apples and a bouquet of flowers, all arranged artfully in a basket. All the things Fox loved best, especially the basket, which was a color she didn't yet have in her collection. Fox felt embarrassed. All she had for him were random things she'd picked up in the forest. Oh, how she had wished she had something sweet for him. But Moose's gift gave her an idea. She was determined to be a proper host. How do you feel about apple pie? She asked him. That'll hit the spot, he replied. Fox got to work, and the two friends chatted happily for hours. It ended up being the terrific visit after all, exactly as planned. The end. Yeah. All right. Going on. Thank you.
So please form an arch on the center aisle and let us sing our children out to their classes.
Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere. You make everywhere. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere. You make everywhere.
We pause now for a time of generosity and to receive an offering which today goes to Dove House Advocacy Services and their programs. I welcome Yolanda Wild to talk about Dove House's important programs.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. It's an incredible place. I've been here only once before. You guys let us use the space for our sexual assault awareness movie, actually in April. So it's wonderful to be here in a different place surrounded by such amazing people. I'm kind of going to cry with all the cute little kid things there. I know. Well, am I going to sing and make an arch for kids? I might. Our program. So Dove House. So we're been in our community now for about 43 years. We started as a group of women helping with domestic violence. And so it was kind of a volunteer-ran piece in Port Townsend. It started up by kind of Aldridge's, this small little sliver of a spot, and then kind of grew from there. So we started as focusing only on domestic violence. We then kind of transformed into Jefferson County's Advocacy Center for All Crime. So we do everything from scam to elder abuse to romantic scamming, unfortunately, is a very large thing that we deal with. To we work with Jefferson Healthcare for SANE exams. We work with lots of organizations, and so that's the piece, I think, for me being here. The partnership in our community is always so incredible. Jefferson County has this giving heart of a place that allows us to do what we do. We're a very small staff. We have about 20 staff members only, and that's with the main building that's by the hospital. It's where we do our advocacy services with a lot of clients. We then have our transitional apartments up top, which are 4 transitional apartments. We also have then our domestic violence shelter that has 21 beds in it. It's set up a little bit different. It was gifted to us as a bread and breakfast place. So each room has their own private bathroom, their own bedroom. So it's a really kind of different place instead of kind of congregate living, which is all cots or beds or whatnot. They actually have a place, hopefully, locks on the doors and whatnot. So it's yours when you get to be there with us, and then has the combined living spaces of the kitchen, laundry rooms, living room, things like that. And then in 2019, when we really started to look at, when you're leaving situations, sometimes these places, you lose your community. You might lose your family, you might lose your friends, you might lose your workplace. And so how do we bring that community space back together? And so the Recovery Cafe was opened, and then COVID hit. And so it became kind of a place of just getting meals. And then it's grown from there. Last night we had our open house, and it was an incredible place to be in, which reminded me of this amazing space of just people, no matter where you're at, in your healing process or your trauma or your community member, or, we had so many different people coming in and out that it was an amazing space. But that place is really built for everyone is recovering from something. We don't know necessarily what that is, and it's not necessarily our responsibility to fix that, but it's our responsibility to hopefully support whatever growth that you're in and wherever you want to go. We provide meals there, so open from 9 to 4 every Tuesday through Friday. Free meals are from noon to 2, so anyone can come in and have meals with us. There's recovery circles, there's karaoke night, there's writing circles, there's a walking group. It's really set to hopefully give lots of different avenues for different ways to heal or to create community, right? Because one path isn't the same for everybody. So we want to give lots of different, hopefully, ways. And then we also took over New Image. So New Image, the gal who ran that retired from volunteering, or I would say running a volunteer, because now I think she volunteers for Habitat, but she doesn't have the full responsibility anymore. So they gifted that to us 2 years ago, and now we have a clothing shop. So that's in the Mountain View Complex building right by the food bank, and it's open Tuesdays and Thursdays from 11 to 3. Anyone can shop, anyone can donate. We love backpacks, we love suitcases. We service a lot of unhoused folks, so we love the ability to be able to give them clothing and then also a way to carry clothing. So those are kind of our quick 3 big programs that we do. They said, give me about 5 minutes. I could go on forever, but I will definitely be here afterwards. And if anyone has questions, we have a great volunteer program, which I see one who I think just joined your church. So Danielle has been here with us, and she's been volunteering. So if you ever want to come in, if it's, helping with our clothes or you filing or at the cafe, it's 3 full-time staff and 124 volunteers run that program. So it's really built around community and you folks. It's our community who shows up to help us in what we do. We have also, if anyone's ever interested, we're always looking for people to stock our pantries. We have a pantry at the main building there where we do sundries and whatnot. We also do feminine hygiene product, soap, shampoo, conditioner, and then we also have one at the cafe, which also has a fridge. So we have a lot of people in our community who stock that as well. So that's open to anyone. We really try to eliminate any barriers because crime is not something, that only happens to one branch of people. It happens to perhaps all people. So there are really no financial restrictions if you need our services. All of our services are free, so we run strictly on donations and then foundations and then some state funding. We do some county funding as well. But yeah, so we try to fill gaps in our community in lots of different ways, but always looking for more partnership. We always love feedback, so if we've done something great, awesome. If we have an opportunity that we can perhaps work on, we love that as well. So we don't know, though, if, we don't hear about it. So we really appreciate being, offered these spaces to kind of talk and have dialogue and welcome all the feedback and any suggestions you might have, because sometimes people know things that we don't. So we really, really are just gracious to be here, and it's such a beautiful space. So I thank all of you, and John had reached out, but if anyone has questions or anything, I'll be here, and I have cards, and just a wonderful way to start my Sunday. So thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. So.
The ushers will now come among you to receive the offering, and additional ways for giving will be projected. Please join me in our offering words. This fellowship is the community of ourselves. Its resources are our energy and resources. Its wealth is what we share. As we contribute to the life of this community, we affirm our lives within it.
This fellowship is the community of ourselves. We did that. Sorry, I'm not getting it right today. This time is set aside to share joys and sorrows. We recognize that our personal joys and sorrows are only a fragment of the joys and sorrows of the larger community of life. And thus, we place this first stone, thinking in particular of all those who don't know where members of their family are, whether they have had to flee in a war zone or whether they are being obstructed in an ICE facility. There were no congregational joys or sorrows submitted for this week, so we place this stone, holding in our hearts the joys and sorrows among us that are unexpressed, but of no less importance. Now is the time in the service where we intentionally settle in. We have arrived. We are together. Feel yourself in your body. Pay attention to the feel of where there might be tension. Breathe into it. and breathe out. We'll have a few moments of silence together. All right, breathing in back. The reading I chose for today is another poem by Teresa Soto titled A Rock in Our Pocket. And I chose this before I realized that we were doing stones for the joys and sorrows. Here it is. When they are kids, it seems like a profession, talking to rocks and listening for their beauty, for the song that says they belong together. They pick up the shiny one, the round one, the flat one, the pretty one. They store them in boxes, in bags, in pockets. Don't worry, they are very clean if they are laundered. But what you will miss, unless you pay attention, is this. There is always the possibility that we can treasure what is in our pockets rather than the thing we have yet to attain. There is the knowledge of the earth beneath us that a plain, sparkly rock can give. It is the hurtling round rock on which we race around the universe. There is the sense of beauty all around, but also choosing to experience, to seize it, to savor it. You could do worse than a practical, ongoing yes. This community will not begrudge you any reminder of your individual, our shared strength. Carry it with you everywhere. Be ready to share it, because you know where you can get more. Our special music for this morning is I Walk the Unfrequented Road.
Joining us this morning is Reverend April Frazier. She is a board-certified chaplain, and after working in hospitals and pastoral care in a parish, has spent most of her career in home hospice. She's an affiliated community minister with Shoreline UUC. She received her Master of Divinity at Vanderbilt University in Nashville, Tennessee. She finds joy in nature, creative projects, and spending time with her family. Welcome, Reverend April.
Thank you, everyone. I'm glad to be here. So my Aunt Carla recently downsized after my uncle died, and we went to visit her in her new house. One day, as we chatted in the kitchen while we were unloading the dishwasher, I noticed a mosaic on the wall by the window. I have it up there, yeah. It was small, about 8 by 10 inches, with subtle gradients of tan and dark gray forming the image of a flying bird. My Uncle Joe was an artist, but I had not seen this piece before. My aunt went on to tell the story of how my uncle had had a very difficult life growing up. His father was ill and couldn't work, and the family was very poor. There were 8 in the family, and 4 people would eat one day and other 4 people the next. There was a point in 8th grade when Joe was contemplating ending his life. And then a student teacher arrived at their Catholic school for a 6-week internship and taught their class how to make mosaics. This was a watershed moment for him. He discovered that there could be more to life than just surviving. There could be joy and hope for the future. Making art saved his life. Creativity comes in many forms. Yes, the painting and published writing we might think of, but also gardening, baking, doodling, playing music, arranging flowers, improv theater, organizing a closet, woodworking, coloring, so many things. How about making up songs and impromptu stories? It takes creativity when my 5-year-old son asks for a song at bedtime about watermelons. Oh, no. Or we give ourselves a challenge of using up all the train pieces while keeping to the allotted play mats in the living room. We may be doing creative projects without consciously realizing it. Have you ever arrived home at the end of a difficult day or ended a fraught family phone call and you went to weed in the garden or rearrange the living room furniture and you felt better? A few weeks ago, or maybe months ago, after a stressful day of work, I was driving home. I was like, I need to quilt for 3 hours, right? Not that I consider myself a professional fiber artist, but this is part of the point. We don't have to be professional artists, published authors, or have a garden worthy of a magazine cover, or a song that goes viral. The value is in doing what inspires us and gives us joy and meaning. If you needed more encouragement to try something new, consider the research published in Neuroimage in 2020, which reveals that if we are inexperienced, we are using more creative effort in our right brain, the neurological source of creativity. Arthur C. Brooks, writer and host of the podcast, How to Build a Happy Life, says living up to one's creative potential might be the simplest way for someone to improve their life. In his article in The Atlantic titled, "To Be Happier, Just Make Art," He cites modern research in neuroscience and psychology that has revealed how actively engaging in creative pursuits is an effective way to gain relief from negative emotions and increase one's sense of well-being. There is a positive correlation between self-perceived creativity and life satisfaction. And specifically, activities such as poetry therapy can help reduce anxiety and post-traumatic stress symptoms. Writer and mental health advocate Mesa Fama says, "Creativity is my resistance to despair." She committed to writing 100 words a day and wrote how, "When I am in the thick of it and wanting to sink, I use my creativity as a life preserver now, using each snippet of my life as a way to stay afloat." If our depression, anxiety, or anything is keeping us bound, maybe this commitment to 100 words a day might be a way to get unblocked. Or 20 minutes of drawing, painting, knitting, poetry, drumming a rhythm on a tabletop, etc. This is similar to Julia Cameron's idea of morning pages in her book, The Artist's Way, to write for 20 minutes every day about anything. Even if you start the page just writing, "I don't know what to write," you're doing it. Arthur C. Brooks writes, "Make creativity a life habit." That means working at your creative practice regularly, maybe not just when you feel like it. We need to engage in something creative. It's one of the things that will sustain us in the days ahead. Quilting is my most recent creative endeavor. You might be able to relate to how it helps us focus on something aside from the stress of the day, roots us in the moment as we think about colors and patterns, helps to keep grounded in the tactile work of cutting and piecing. Perhaps even the hum of the sewing machine taps into yet another of the senses. It connects us to our ancestors, who also made quilts. And when I share the finished products with others in the modern quilting groups, I'm sharing myself. A quilt might be more than just a quilt. There is an aspect of vulnerability when showing our work with others. Do you ever feel that way? And yet, we know vulnerability can be a key to growing relationships and feeling a sense of belonging. Not that we need to show what we create with others. Even talking about our creative projects does provide a benefit. Sharing can connect us, and fostering community is a part of resistance too. If we look back through history, this is not a new concept. The American Psychological Association published an article in 2016 titled, "Womanism, Creativity, and Resistance, Making a Way Out of No Way," which discusses how, despite systematic attempts to marginalize, devalue, and erase their existence, the socially constructed realities and lived experiences of Black women under oppressive conditions of exploitation and violence have yielded coping strategies that contribute to their resilience in the fight for social justice. Creative resistance as a catalyst for social change across generations, moving from places of pain to places of power, to continue to love, grow, and thrive. This article goes on to talk about using art therapy for those coping with histories of trauma. Perhaps you have done art therapy in a professional or perhaps in an informal way. I've done a few projects informally, and it wasn't until I stepped back to look that I realized what I was feeling, that I hadn't been able to express with words, or some feelings that I didn't even know I was feeling. In the midst of all that is yet unknown, the very act of creating provided relief. Some of the pieces I put up on my wall for a time to remind myself where I had been, and took them down when the feelings eased. Art can help us find some healing. 19th century Russian composer Tchaikovsky, famous for the Nutcracker, among others, struggled with depression and anxiety and wrote to his friends and family about how only one thing offered some alleviation from the suffering: being in the midst of inspiration and creativity. Perhaps you, too, have found yourself in the midst of this bliss that Tchaikovsky talks about, being caught up in the flow of the creative process, losing track of time and settling into the focus and joy of it, breathing into the possibilities and feeling more fully ourselves. Now, creating necessitates time, and it is easy to let everything else in life fill up our days. You know how it is. I would like to take a moment also to acknowledge that some creative pursuits need equipment, supplies, and space that might be out of reach due to circumstances of accessibility or funding or living space. And we can only adapt as best we can to find alternative outlets to be creative that are available to us. There are other hindrances that we have set in our minds. Maybe these ring for you too. I still have laundry to do, or the house needs to be cleaned. I should be taking this time for my kids and not just for me. I'm not a professional, so I can't do that. I need to be doing something productive. I can't do it the way I used to. Hello, guilt, inner critic, and fear. In her article from The Cutting Table, quilter Jenny Glover writes, "When we let guilt stop us, we're actually doing harm to ourselves, our loved ones, and our community. We have passion, artistry, beauty, and gifts to share that can make the world a better place. Guilt keeps us from exploring these things." She goes on to say, "I believe that quilting, or fill in your preferred creative project, is equally as important as chores or parenting responsibilities. Your practice brings you joy, comforts people, and honors their creative spirit. When you choose to pursue your passion, you're modeling for your family and friends that you matter. You're demonstrating how valuable creative work is, and you're teaching them how vital it is to honor their own creativity and personal passions." Yes, I took my daughter to walk the picket line with me during our union strike when she was still in preschool. The kids came with me to the Capitol back in February to see me testify before the Senate committee. I let them see me eat healthy food, exercise, and read novels. But I also let them see me do creative projects while there are yet dirty dishes in the sink. And I encourage them to do their own. Heather Cox Richardson, a political historian and author of the newsletter titled Letters from an American, writes, "One of the really important things going forward as we fear the rise of authoritarianism in the U.S. is that authoritarians cannot rise if there are strong communities and people are acting with joy. As you need despair and anger to allow an authoritarian to rise, in terms of burnout, it's okay to say, I'm not going to pay attention to politics for a while, but it's not okay to stop bringing your best to the world. Whatever those things are that you bring to community, do them and do them with joy. Don't stop doing the things you love because you're scared, because that actually is a form of resistance. Showing up and doing things with joy says to an authoritarian, you have no place to root here." Heather Cox Richardson, yes. A recent ACLU post echoes this. "Even in times of crisis, our joy and creativity can be our greatest strength. So truly, finding joy in doing the things we love is a form of resistance and a key to our resilience. Our closing hymn is number 379, Now Let Us Sing, and you're welcome to rise in body or spirit.
This is one that has two parts, and so you guys on this side, you'll sing with me, and I'll demonstrate that part, and then the rest of the folks will sing with Pat. And so if you'll give me a pitch, I will sing that first part.
And joy is the last verse.
Yes. Now let us sing, 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 sing. Now let us sing, 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 sing. Lift up your voice, be not afraid. Let us sing to the power of the faith within.
And then the other part goes, sing to the power of the faith within. Sing to the power of the faith within. Lift up your voice, be not afraid. Sing to the power of the faith within. Now we'll make it into a part song.
All right, we're going to start.
And,
now let us sing.
sing to the power of the faith within.
Now let us sing.
Sing to the power of the faith within.
Sing, lift up your voice.
Lift up your voice. Be not afraid.
Let us
Sing to the power of the faith within.
Now let us sing.
Sing to the power of the hope within.
Now let us sing.
Sing to the power of the hope within.
Sing, lift up your voice.
Lift up your voice. Be not afraid. Let us sing to the power of the hope within.
Now let us sing.
Sing to the power of the love within.
Now let us sing.
Sing to the power of the love within.
Sing, lift up your voice.
Lift up your voice. Be not afraid. Let us sing to the power of the hope within.
Now let us sing.
Sing to the power of the joy within.
Now let us sing.
Sing to the power of the joy within.
Sing, lift up your voice.
Lift up your voice. Be not afraid. Let us sing to the power of the joy within.
Oh, good to sing, huh?
Right there.
Okay. For our closing words today, we go from this place reminded there is hope. We go from this place strengthened for the days ahead. We go from this place with a deep knowing that we are not alone. We go with peace. So as we extinguish the chalice for today, please join with us in the extinguishing words. We extinguish the flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, the fire of commitment, or the power of transformation. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. And for the postlude, the song is titled Saturday Morning.